So, well, I mean, I think we started the band a drunken night on a tour bus in 2008 sometime, when David was the session guitarist for Soilwork, and I didn't know him since before. So, I mean, we bonded very well over music and especially classic rock, in general, 70s and 80s stuff, and after a while, I mean, we ended up in the back lounge every night drinking and listening and having, song battles with 70s, 80s stuff. And after a while, we said, we need to start a band that captures this, because it's, you know, this is missing out there, and it was a drunken idea, but it actually became a reality, which is kind of rare, I guess. um, so it happened, and we just needed to find the right members, and we had some people in mind, and we all came together have our first jam session in 2009, I think in the summer, and it was electric, it was a great, one of the biggest kicks of my musical career, I would say, because I always liked this kind of music, but I've never really been doing that much singing, and so it was a sort of great confidence boost to be able to pull that off, and so we got together, and it was really magical, and we approached some labels, but it was hard to find, the right label, and then we ended up on an Italian label that's owned by our friends in Disharmonia Mundi that I've been doing vocals for before, and they believed in it and put out the two first albums, and it's gone under the radar because the distribution hasn't been the greatest. And then after the second album, Nuclear Blast, approached us and said the whole office loves Night Flight Orchestra and we want to sign you guys. That was sort of a surprise, and yeah, and here we are with Amber Galactic. I think we're capturing an era, and also a way of writing songs that's been lost, for quite some time. I think we're providing something that you don't really hear out there right now, and yeah, it's like, to be as specific as possible, I think we're capturing the era of maybe 77 to 83.
Yeah. Now, just from listening to the music and all the memories that it sort of conjures up for me, it seems like it would be a really fun band to be a part of. Am I right?
Yes, it's almost too much fun, I was gonna say. We've had three different recording sessions for this album, and every week is really intense. It's almost like you need to go into a rehab when we're done, and you go sort of into depression because it was so much fun. But it's such a creative unit, and so much fun, and of course a lot of references being thrown around, and at the same time, I think we've managed to create something pretty personal, I think.
Yeah. Do you play much live with this band?
We've done 6 shows total, so that's
Okay.
that's not a lot, and because, I mean, like I mentioned before, it's gone under the radar sort of, and it's been hard for us to book shows, and I think it's going to be easier now once Amber Galactic is out, because there's definitely a buzz going on right now, and hopefully promoters pick up on it as well.
Now, it's hard to coordinate members from different bands. I mean, you're on the road and in the studio with Soilwork, and Charlie with Arch Enemy and that. Is it hard?
As far as Soilwork goes, I think it's going to be fairly easy. We're definitely slowing down now. I mean, we've been touring so much for the Ride Majestic, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. So that's when we're going to do Night Flight, and as far as Arch Enemy goes, I mean, they're releasing a new album, so I know that Charlie will be on tour a lot. So hopefully we can work it out, because he's a hell of a bass player and a great friend. So
Amber Galactic, just about to be released. Tell us more about this. You mentioned a lot of fun. Any funny studio stories from the recording?
Yeah, I think
too many to mention.
Yeah, too many to mention, I was gonna say. But yeah, it's been a very interesting, writing session and recording session as well. And it took us a year. And I mean, we still have about 20 more songs, that is that are not on the album. So it was kind of hard to pick the songs, but I think it has a really good flow. It's I think the major, like, one of the biggest differences between this new one and the two previous ones is that we cut out all the Hammond organs and focus more on early 80s keyboards, and there's almost like a space theme running through this album as well, both musically and lyrically. So I think it fits the band very well, and I think it really stands out.
Any favourite songs? Any songs that mean more than others?
That's hard to say. I mean, one of my personal faves, I really like Gemini, and you know, it's the perfect space rock disco song ever.
Certainly got a groove, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does. It has a little swag to it. It makes people want to dance, which is awesome, you know. And so I think also, you know, Sebastian Porcelain, who wrote that song, the guitarist and the percussionist in the band, he joined the band permanently on the previous album. So it's or actually after that album was recorded. And so it's only now that we see what a fantastic songwriter he is as well. So it's a great you know, contribution to this already awesome lineup, I guess.
Seems like you're having too much fun. It really does.
Yes, way too much.
Now, on a personal note, is there any style of music that you have not sung? From where I sit, I would have to say just about no.
Yeah, opera. I don't know. I've never really tried that out, and I always sort of been curious about it. Maybe I should take some opera lessons, but I don't know. But I mean, there's a lot, you know, and I'm a very curious singer, I guess. So who knows what's going to happen.
Now, you mentioned you formed the idea, at least, for the band in, say, 2007, 2008, but the first album didn't come out till 2012. Is that coordinating time? Is it having too much time? What's the deal there?
I think we did a lot of touring and recording. I think at the time we were recording the Living Infinite, which was a double album with Soilwork as well. And before that, we were really trying to find a label. It was really hard, you know, because it was something like, oh, what is this? This sounds like, you know, 78. It was like, what are we going to do with this? You know?
Now,
so
for the debut album and I don't like using the term a side band, but it's very polished. Were those songs with the band from the beginning? Did they just evolve in the recording sessions, or how was that? How did that go?
I think what we just you're talking about the first album, right?
The first album, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it all started with me and David writing some songs, you know, just trying to sort of capture what it is we wanted to do with this new band, you know, and so I mean the first album was a little bit of a project, you know. It was like, you know, some songs sounded like 73 and one song sounded like maybe 82, and it was a big mess of everything, but it was everything we liked. So I think it took some time to channel all our influences and get more focused, you know, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Now with Skyline Whispers, the follow-up in 2015, being the second album, was that one easier to write than the first, or did it come? Was it harder?
No, I think it was actually easier because it was sort of like a learning phase as well. You know, with the first album, it's like, okay, let's bring on the second album, you know, and then now we know sort of what to do, but it's still, you know, that's also a pretty diverse album, and so I think, I mean, I'm still very happy about that album, but I think it's really now that everything is coming together with Amber Galactic, and so we definitely like found our sound and where we want to be, so to speak.
It would have come as a bit of a relief recording the second Night Flight album after the heavy recording that you mentioned before with the Living Infinite.
Yeah, I guess it was. I'm trying to remember exactly what time we recorded it, but it was, you know, obviously a big contrast, and I think The Ride Majestic turned out to be really, you know, darker, even darker than the Living Infinite as well. So that made it a very big contrast between the Night Flight albums and the Soilwork albums. It's two sides of me, really, you know, and I feel now that I have the best of both worlds, really.
Anything else we wanted to touch on?
No, I mean, I really hope we can take this band to Australia as well. That would be fantastic, I think. And so we're definitely working on it, and hopefully people will pick up the album, and the promoters will pick up on it as well. So hopefully in the near future we'll have ourselves a tour. So stay tuned.
Bjorn, congratulations on all of your career so far. Listened to the Night Flight Orchestra album the other day, and I can't stop smiling when I hear it, so I guess you've achieved what you wanted to achieve there.
Yes.
So best of luck with that when it comes out on May the 19th, I believe, which is a great day because that's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. So congratulations with that, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yes, and thanks for having me. My pleasure.